And we are live. So, our question tonight, relationship red flags and yellow flags? What's the difference, Coach Eileen? Welcome everyone to our live stream here on YouTube. I am your relationship coach, Eileen Santos, and my goal is really to just help singles learn love facts versus love fiction so you can enjoy happier love stories in real life. And the thing is, for those who are new here, welcome every Friday at 9 p.m. Manila time. So Manila time is GMT plus 8. I go live here on YouTube. I do a live stream where I get to answer the most common questions that I have gotten throughout the week. And for those who don't know who I am, so I am relationship coach Eileen Santos. My background is in counseling psychology. So I have a master's degree in counseling psychology. I'm a certified professional coach and a registered guidance counselor. And the reason why I keep sharing this is that I want to assure you that this is not just based on opinions or on trends. These things that I share with you, these are love lessons that are based in psychology, the dynamics of men and women, so that you can really use them to create more love in your life. So, yes, welcome to Fall in Love Friday. So, we do this weekly, and if you have any future suggestions for other episodes, please do post them in the comments. And what happens is that, I get the most common questions in the comments and through personal messages. And I come up with these love lessons so that you could learn more about love and relationships. So, this is what we're going to talk about in this episode, relationship red flags and yellow flags. So maybe this is the first time you've heard of yellow flags, or maybe this is also the first time you've heard about red flags. So we're going to talk about the difference because here's the thing. In this episode, we're going to talk about the five important relationship insights that you need to know about red flags and yellow flags so that you can really use this information to have the best relationships that you can in your life. And yes, please do share this video, share this episode, tag your friends so that they will learn from these love lessons as well. And if you are really getting insights here, it's great when you post them in the comments. And if you just want to say hi in the comments, that's also awesome. But when you really type down your insights, the things that you are learning, you are actually articulating them and putting it out there in the universe. So it's much more clear to you that you are actually learning these things and they will stick better. Okay, so yes, we're going to talk about five important insights about relationship red flags and yellow flags. Okay, so why did I go with this topic? Because these are some of the questions that I have been getting throughout the week. So, questions, situations. So, questions like, Coach Eileen, how do you know when a partner's behavior is a red flag? Okay, so people are really interested in understanding these things. What are the signs of a toxic relationship? Okay, that would be an entire workshop. It's not just even just one sit down workshop. That's a whole thing, especially when I guide clients and helping them determine if they're in a toxic relationship or not, and what is keeping them in toxic relationships if they are in a toxic relationship. That really requires a lot of growth, a lot of internal work. So but we will be giving insights into this in this short episode. You will still learn. And how can we tell if a relationship is toxic or just in need of repair? I love this question because this question actually implies correctly that all relationships are not going to be perfect. All relationships are going to have flaws. All partners are going to have flaws. Even the most amazing people will have flaws. So the question is, how do we know that we are with a partner who's okay to stick with, okay to stick around with, or someone who's really toxic and we just really need to move forward and move on. So these are just some of the questions that I've been getting. And this is why it's really important when you guys reach out to me. You can reach out to me here on YouTube or on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/Coach Eileen, and you can send me stuff there so that they will be future episodes for our love lessons here in Fall in Love Friday. So now we will go into the five important insights. And we will start with important insight number one. No one plans to be in a toxic relationship, but Your past wounds will prevent you from knowing what is toxic. Okay. So here's an important insight so that you don't blame yourself when you do find yourself in a toxic relationship. It's not your fault. We grow up with a lot of, a lot of imperfections in our families of origin, and when these things happen and these create wounds in our hearts and in our minds, we are oriented, we get confused about what is a healthy relationship and what is a toxic relationship. And the thing is, in school, it's really never discussed. That's why, you know what, one of my dreams and goals is really to have a textbook, to really make this a serious subject in schools, because our relationships are very important, right? We in school we learn about the stuff that will help build our careers, but our relationships are going to stay with us in the long term, like in the lifetime. And when we don't learn about what healthy relationships are like, then we are just setting ourselves up for failure. Okay, and it's a different kind of failure, but it's a kind of failure that affects everything else. And before we move forward, I'm just going to say hi to, okay, hi, Digital Fanboy. I am so happy that you're here. Digital Fanboy is such a student of love. So that, tell me if that's something that you would like to be called. These people, all of you guys who are tuning in either live or tuning into the replay, do you want to be called students of love? Okay, so, or you can give me a suggestion, just post it in the comments, give me a suggestion about what you would want to be named, especially if you are always here in Fall in Love Friday and learning more about love and relationships. So hi, Digital Fanboy, student of love. And another student of love here is Rena. Hi, Rena. And I know that Rena is always bringing in people that she is mentoring herself. So it's great when we are continuing with our learning and we are helping other people learn as well. So I'm glad that you're here. If you guys are not here live but catching the replay, I am still amazed at you, and I'm acknowledging your efforts for learning more about relationships. Okay, so going back to important insight number one, it's not our fault that we cannot, we were not given information on what healthy relationships should look like. And sometimes we don't even know what toxic relationships look like. So if you have found yourself in a toxic relationship, forgive yourself. But this is important. This is important. Okay, this next banner piece of information is important. We need to be the ones to take responsibility for our own healing, so that we can see things clearly with our hearts and not with our hurts. And you can quote me on that. I have seen so many people, we get hurt. Relationships are really not perfect, but when we do not address those hurts, we do not process the love lessons that we are supposed to be getting from those hurts or from those failed relationships or all those mistakes. If we are not getting the lessons, then we will look at other things, future relationships, future partners, through the lens of our hurts and not with our hearts. So that is a big disservice to you, because when, seeing things through our hurts still means that we are operating from our wounds. So we will still make the same mistakes over and over in our relationships. And what you would want to happen is learn from those mistakes instead of just keeping on making the same mistakes. So take responsibility for your own healing. Maybe someone else was responsible for the hurt. Maybe someone else inflicted the hurt. That's, yes, it was their fault. But it's our responsibility to take charge of our own healing, so that we can finally see things through our hearts and not through our hurts. Okay? I hope that that is clear. And if this is any of this is being relevant to you, please type them into the comments, because articulating the lessons that we're learning will really help reinforce our own learning. Important insight number two. Okay. Relationship red flags. Okay. So I'm defining relationship red flags here. Of course, we cannot talk about, we cannot talk about in the next 10 minutes or so everything that you need to know about toxic relationships and whatnot. But this is what you should know about relationship red flags. They are consistent. Okay, so they are consistent and they are intentional behaviors that make a partner. So one partner is probably making them, or maybe both are making them. Okay. So when someone has consistent intentional behaviors that are making the other person, the partner, feel unsafe to trust themselves and be who they are. So they're consistent, they keep happening even when you point out that you don't feel comfortable about something, or you felt hurt about something. They would say things like, you're too sensitive, and, they will make it seem like it was your fault for getting hurt. So what's going to happen there when a partner is doing that? So the other partner is going to feel unsafe in trusting themselves. So they would think, am I being just really sensitive? So if I get hurt about this, I am not supposed to make a big deal about it because it's not right to make a big deal about it. So this is why this feeling, and this is what's important. When you have this feeling where you're walking around eggshells around someone, when you cannot be who you are, okay, in a relationship, and your partner keeps on doing these intentional behaviors, so consistency, then that is a sign that it could be a relationship red flag. Of course, we have different situations, different contexts, and different relationships. So it's really up to you to understand and really know the situation and the context that you are in. But this is an important question that you can ask yourself so that you can check if it's really a red flag. Ask yourself, can you be your human and flawed self in this relationship, even as you are growing into a better version of you? So I'm not saying that you're perfect and your partner is not perfect either, but even when you're not perfect, even when you're making mistakes, when you feel that you can be your flawed self in this relationship, you are not demonized or villainized for making mistakes. So you can still be you. So you don't need to hide your inner thoughts, the deepest feelings that you wish you could share. Then if you feel safe in that, then that means that it's a good relationship. Okay? It's not a red flag or toxic relationship. All right? But this is also important, the second part. So you can be your human and flawed self, but you by yourself, you know that you are also actively growing into a better version of you. So it's not enough to be, you cannot be saying to your partner, I am human, I'm flawed, deal with it. Okay, no. So that's you being toxic if you're saying that, or if you have that kind of mindset. But if you are human and flawed and trying to be a better version of who you are, but still your human and flawed self is safe in the relationship, you are accepted and loved, then that is a good relationship. Okay, and I'm gonna say hi to other people who are coming in. Okay, Lynette is here, sibling spotlight. Hey, hi there, Lynette. I'm so happy that you're here. Okay, you made it. So, Lynette is a new friend, a fellow creator, and she has this channel. And okay, Lynette has this insight. Sometimes the guy has ego. Okay, so um, this is a reality that people are experiencing, and we just need to. I am so glad that Lynette brought that up. There is a difference, and of course we will have to use this in the context of whatever situation that we're in, because we have different situations. We need to see the difference between ego and um really stubbornness, because the kind of stubbornness that says, I am this way. I was born this way. I am who I am. So deal with it. I am not going to change. So that's different from ego. There is healthy kind of ego. Okay, so going using my psychology hat here, but I'm going to simplify things. The healthy kind of ego is the kind that says, um, you are better than this. Okay, and if a guy has the good kind of ego, he would say, this is not the man that I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to be a better kind of man. I'm going to be the man that I know I'm supposed to be. But the bad kind of ego, the stubborn kind of ego would be, oh, people should adjust to me. I am not going to change. I am not going to admit when I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm glad that Lynette brought that up. So that's a bonus tip about a healthy ego. And the healthy ego is we when we have a good label for who we are and who we're supposed to be, a good identity for who we are and who we're supposed to be, then we're going to move towards that. And it's not just for the guys; it's for the ladies as well. And Rena also has a good insight. I guess it doesn't just happen between lovers, it also happens even at work. Yes, that is such an awesome insight, Rena. That is so true. Oh my gosh, at work, we spend so much time at work. Like even when we're in a pandemic and everyone's working from home, all of these personalities and interactions and dynamics also keep cropping up in our relationships, doesn't it? Thank you so much for pointing out, Rena. Okay, your talk coach is always applicable to all kinds of relationships. Thank you for that. You're so welcome, and I'm so happy when we have students of love like Rena, because that's how you are pointing out things that other people might not realize, but since you're pointing it out, then it's something that people can benefit from as well. Okay. So yeah, there's the good kind of ego. That's why, if we're gonna go Freudian, it's a classic classic psychology framework. But the id, ego, super ego, if we were just in our id, we didn't have ego, we didn't have this good identity of the kind of the kind of person, ideal person that we're supposed to be, then we would just be animals with urges. But because we do have that good kind of ego, then it's all what I'm saying is oversimplified, but it's the version, the things that I'm sharing with you. These are the simplified versions that I hope will help you in your own relationships. Okay, I am sorry about the noise. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. Okay, so that is an important thing. You need to ask yourself, okay, can you be your human and flawed self in this relationship, even as you are growing into a better version of you? And if you can, that's a good kind of relationship that just needs improvement, just like us. The partners will need improvement. The relationship is so dynamic and will need improvement as well. Important insight number three. Okay, this is where some people are sometimes really surprised. They say, "Oh my gosh, Coach Eileen, there are yellow flags." Okay, maybe this is the first time you've heard of it, but yes, there are yellow flags, and it's just like traffic lights. Red flag means, okay, this is a toxic relationship. You need to step back, and probably you might need to think about letting go. But yellow flags are this. Yellow flags mean that it's not a toxic relationship. It's just that there are really important areas for improvement in the relationship that you really need to focus on. Both partners need to focus on. Okay, so what are yellow flags? So, relationship yellow flags are mistakes in thinking and acting that we are willing to change, and most likely we are already trying to change. Okay, so remember, we are all flawed. Our partners are flawed. We are flawed. And just like what Rena pointed out, since I'm talking about relationships, and these are also applicable to relationships at work, even in our families. Okay. So these are mistakes. Okay. Maybe we keep making the same mistakes over and over, but we are willing to improve. We are willing to change. That's why they are called yellow flags. When someone calls us out for our mistake, we say, "Oh yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry." And that's the major difference between yellow flags and red flags. And also yellow flags, they're not that consistent. It's not like, every time it happens, it's always the mistaken action or mistaken thought. Also, yellow flags do not make you feel unsafe for being who you are. That's a major distinction. When a partner is doing yellow flags, it's like maybe uh, instead of spending time, here's a sample of a yellow flag. Instead of spending time with you after work, you want to spend time with them, bond with them. They have this default habit of de-stressing by going into their games. And what's been happening is that your relationship is no longer growing. You're not connecting with each other because this other person is in too much involved in their games. Okay, so Maybe it's, I hope it's not an addiction yet, but it could be. So you point that out. So it's not an ideal thing in a relationship. We're supposed to be connecting with the people that we love, and we do not make our loved ones feel alone, especially when we're there. Okay, but when you call them out on this behavior, you say that I feel lonely, I feel neglected because I want to connect with you after, we spend time, so much time at work, and I wanted to connect with you and feel close to you, but I feel like you would rather do something else than be with me, so I feel neglected. So if you can say those things to someone, to a partner who is making this kind of mistake, and they say I'm sorry, instead of say, yellow flag would be them saying I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Okay. Red flag would be you're overreacting. You're too sensitive. I'm already here. So red flag would be making you feel unsafe for sharing your feelings. Okay. Maybe they won't say sorry right away. There are some people who are like that. Okay. Because, families of origin, sometimes there are families where it was never, sorry was never a word that they got used to saying. Sometimes even I love you is not something that they got used to saying. Those are yellow flags too. I mean, you look at their families, you get to know your partner and you look at the family that they came from. Their family will have a lot of issues, communication issues. And if you know that it's just because of a habit or a dynamic that they brought along from their family of origin, then and you know that on their own by themselves your partner is also trying to be a better person, then that is also a yellow flag. Okay, so I hope that you are seeing the distinction, and I'm going to uh highlight sibling spotlight again, Lynette. Okay, oh okay, so also about the good ego, I'm glad that uh you won't find that in a psychology book. Those things that I'm mentioning, I'm just using those terms to simplify things so that, because that's what you need, right? You don't need, you're here not because you want to take up a psychology degree, but because you want better relationships for yourself. And when you are building better relationships for yourself, you're also affecting the people around you in a positive way. So I'm so glad for that. I'm glad that you are learning about that, Lynette. Okay, so going back to important insight number three. So these are yellow flags. And newsflash, we could be the ones doing this. We could be the ones doing these yellow flag behaviors. So here's something that we need to remember about yellow flags. Even the best people say the wrong things and make mistakes. That includes us. Oh my gosh, that super includes us. Now, the question is, are we honest with and correcting ourselves? So, are we honest with ourselves and are we correcting ourselves? Because when we are lying to ourselves, we feel like we don't need correction, like, just people should just deal with our behavior and we have no responsibility at all in correcting our behavior, then that's moving towards the red flag. But if we are willing, we're being honest, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I am spending too much time with games. I'm not spending enough time with my loved ones. Then, and we are correcting ourselves. Maybe it doesn't take, just one moment. Maybe someone is upset with us and we're defensive. That's how fights are. We're automatically defensive. But later on, we realize, yeah, my loved one has a point. I'm going to say sorry. So that means that it's just a yellow flag behavior and we can still correct ourselves. But if we are in denial and refusing to improve, maybe we are the ones who are doing toxic relationship behaviors, also known as red flags. Okay, so when we're talking about red flags and yellow flags, I hope that you're noticing that we're not just talking about your partner's behavior. We're also looking at our own behaviors as well. Because there are two people always in a relationship. So it's not never just one person's fault, it's always an interaction, a dynamic between these two people. All right. So now we go to important insight number four. There are also black flags. Okay. You might even say that it's like, that pirate flag where there's like a cross. What do you call that? A skull and bones crossing each other. So yeah, black flags, guys. You need to just run, okay? And these are the black flags: untreated addiction, Okay, and patterns of violence and abuse. So these are things that a person should really work on and address, and have healing on, really undergo healing for. First, addiction and patterns of violence and abuse before they go into a relationship. Okay, because no one is going to benefit from this. You go into a relationship with someone like this, it's not going to end well. So these really need to be addressed. Okay. And before we move forward, I'm going to say hi. Okay. Ruth is also here, another new friend. Hi, Ruth, another fellow creator. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for saying hi. And I hope that you are learning, guys. So I was going to say ladies, but Digital Fanboy is such a student of love and light, and Digital Fanboy is here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here live. If you are watching the replay, thank you as well for learning more about relationships. Okay. So if it's a black flag, do not go into a relationship. Go for healing first. Okay. So last but not least, important insight number 5. Bottom line is this: there's no shortcut in getting to know people. Yeah. So, when people ask me, is there like a specific sign, like the way they move their eyes or a specific behavior? No, we can't generalize people. And I'm a psychologist, and I do not generalize people. I don't even give personality tests to people who are not paying me for to who are not really willing to be analyzed. I don't even analyze my loved ones. Okay, I just let them be. But if they say, oh, I want to know my personality, then I can give them the tools. But here's the thing: you have to look for consistent evidence of their values, and that's the most important thing. You have to know what you're looking for. You don't just a lot of people, oh my gosh, I have encountered a lot of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s. There are even some people in their 50s who don't know what they're supposed to be looking for in a good partner. So they keep going into, they keep attracting or getting into relationships with people who do not have good values. So the point is, you really have to decide for yourself what are the values that are important to you. And when you are getting to know someone, when you're dating, it's not just about the chemistry and the butterflies and stuff. Hmm. So you have to look for consistent evidence of their values, and you see it through their action. And it's something that you really have to look at in different areas of their life, because if they're like honest and kind at work, but not honest and kind with their family members, like with their siblings, or they're not honest and kind with someone on the street, then you know that there's a disconnect. So you really have to look for consistent evidence of their values in all areas of their life. Okay? And here's a bonus tip. Okay. Actually, I don't know what your spiritual uh, beliefs are, but as human beings, part of our, part of who we are, we have our body, our mind, and our spirit. So whatever your spiritual practice, whatever your spiritual beliefs, you need to include them in finding the right kind of partner, because that's going to be important as well. And also in being growing into the right kind of partner. And here's one thing: if you believe that there's a higher power, you believe that there's a god, then here's a bonus tip: when you ask God for help in your love life, he will come through. Okay. Sometimes it's not going to be comfortable. Over and over again, I'm going to tell you a bit of a secret. Not all people probably know this, but as a relationship coach, I know about these things. I have heard of so many stories where they said that, they had this prayer, they would have this intuition that something is wrong in their relationship. And they would pray to God and say, Lord, if there's a truth that's being hidden from me, and that I need to know this truth, please just send me the truth. Just let me know what I need to know to make a better decision about my relationship. And bam, within the week, there's always guidance if you ask for it. Okay. So whether you believe in God, Allah, the universe, a higher power, guidance is always there for us. Actually, I have seen it over and over. When you are open to guidance, you will get it. The guidance is not always going to be comfortable. Sometimes it's going to really piss you off, but you are going to get guidance so that, it's like when you're open to the science and when you're open to the truth, then the truth will be sent to you, and you will be able to use it to make better decisions about your relationship, because that's the bottom line. We don't want to go into relationships just to get hurt over and over. No one does that. Okay, but we will need to be ready for and be open to the truth. Okay, so hello again to Ruth. And uh Sibling Spotlight says, rightly, yes, people don't usually show their true colors, but time will tell. That is so true. That's why when people rush into relationships, that is not a good thing for you. Okay, so even if you feel like, oh my gosh, the sparks are there, Coach Eileen, the chemistry is out of this world, we have so much chemistry, I'm like living a K drama. Okay, so as a former scriptwriter, I have a lot to say about using K dramas as a basis for your relationship decisions. But here's the thing, remember that you just need to look for consistent evidence of their values and take your time. There is no rush. There is no, I mean, even if you were in your 50s, let's just say, okay, even if you were in your 50s and this is your first real important relationship, or maybe not your first, but this is an important relationship that you're considering, and you get into this relationship in your 50s, guess what? Our average lifespan right now is 80. So you will still have 30 years, 3 decades together, guys. So there's no need to rush to into any kind of relationship. The important thing is you choose a very good relationship for yourself, the kind where you will feel safe, the kind where you will grow into a better version of who you are, and the kind that will truly make you feel loved. That is a relationship worth waiting for. All right. Thank you so much for being with me, whether you're watching the replay or here right now live. In this episode, we covered 5 important insights about relationship red flags and yellow flags, and we even talked about black flags because this is our topic for this episode: relationship red flags and yellow flags. What is the difference, Coach Eileen? And I hope that you learned a lot of insights in this episode. So please, yeah, share this video, tag your friends in these love lessons. Post your aha insights and follow up questions in the comments. And yes, please subscribe to this channel. Please help us grow this channel. This is a fairly new channel. I mean, I think I think I signed up for this channel a long time ago, but please do subscribe so that we can reach more people and tell more people about this, because my goal is really to help more people create love in their lives. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And yes, thank you, Rana. Thank you so much. And please do use these insights and lessons so that you have awesome love stories in real life. Bye, everyone.